Hello, dear students. Today we're starting a new chapter, chapter 25, Sources of Finance. This is not just a new chapter, but it's a new unit, by the way. You remember from last chapter, the previous one, that we were talking about departments. And we said that a typical business usually is divided into 4 departments. Production department, marketing department, human resources department, and the last one is accounting department. The accounting department is responsible for all the money transactions done in a business, recording money in and out of a business, the credits, capital, assets, liabilities, and so on. So in this unit, we're going to talk about these step by step. So we're not just starting a new chapter, but a new unit. Accounting subsection starts in page 210. And the first chapter is Sources of Finance. In this lesson, we're just going to talk about the internal sources of finance. And after we have solved the questions about that, next lesson we're going to move on to external sources of finance. So first we have to ask ourselves, why do business need finance? It's simple actually. It's similar to why do people need finance, which means why do people need money for? We usually need money to pay our daily expenses, to buy food, to buy fuel for our car, to buy groceries and clothes and refrigerators, cars, and many other things that we need actually. So businesses similarly, first of all, they need finance. They need money to be able to pay for their daily expenses. This may be wages, this may be raw materials, electricity, water, any other utilities, paying for their rents, repaying their loans, which they have taken when they were starting their business, for any other expenses, paying money to the government, such as their taxes. So for several reasons, business will need money. This may be some short-term needs, or they may be more long-term needs. So short-term needs, we usually divide short-term and long-term, which you will be hearing in this chapter a lot. Short-term is usually less than 1 year, and long-term is usually more than 1 year. So our short-term needs will be usually needed for shorter-term needs, such as paying the utilities, the bills, for buying something that we need for the running of the business, for paying the wages, and so on. But long-term needs are usually needs that will go for more than 1 year, such as buying a new machinery will be a long-term need of a company because it will be used in very long years probably. Or it can be any other investment made. So needs can be short-term and they can be also long-term. And businesses sometimes need this finance to start up their businesses. If it's a new business and you're forming a new business, of course in the beginning you will need money for many things, such as you will need money for buying equipment, for your building, for buying the needs of the building, and so on. This startup capital may be small, but depending on the business, it may be very large. So even if you can invest your own money, your own savings, you will also need some extra finance, which we will talk how we can find this finance. Another reason why we can need finance is for expansion. Expansion means that the company now is going to get bigger, not just in space, it's going to be bigger with its operations. So maybe it will need more finance to buy more machinery, to hire new people, buy new technology, make more research, and so on. So for these reasons, businesses will need finance. So there are 2 main ways we can find this finance. The first one is internal. We can find it from internal sources, which means within the company, from the owners of the company actually, or with anything that is related with the company. And the second way is external sources. So we will go outside of the business and find it from a third party. This for a third party can be banks, it can be borrowing from banks, from other capital institutions. We will talk about them in the next lesson. Today we're going to talk about only the internal sources of finance. Of course, the first way, especially for sole traders, which there is only one owner of the business, or partnerships, which there are few owners of a business, this internal source can be your personal savings. That means that you save an amount of money to start your business, or you save this money for difficult times to make your payments. That's one way of finding finance internally. The other way is retained profit. To retain means to keep. What does that mean? Let's say you have made a profit of $100. Very simple example. $100 at the end of the first month. You don't take all of this money as an owner or divide it to your owners. Or if you're a limited company, you don't give it out as dividends to the shareholders, and you keep a small amount or a large amount of this in the company. So in case you will need finance, you can use this retained profit for your expenses. And the last way of finding source internally is selling assets. So what is an asset? Assets is something that makes money, that is a property. It's usually a property like a building, it can be a car, it can be land. And this asset will help you get finance if you can sell this asset that you own as a person. So these three ways is how a business can find finance internally. And after we have solved the two questions related with this internal source of finance, we will move to external source of finance, which we have more alternatives, different ways we can find external finance. And we will talk about certain advantages and disadvantages they have, and we will learn some new accounting terms with this, some finance terms, some new terms for you. So your homework will be case study Maurice Obuya in page 210, and the case study wedding planning on page 213 for the weekend. See you later. Bye bye.